Chapter 13. The big day arrives. The sun was shining brightly on the morning of the big day, but the ground was still white with snow and the air was very cold. Outside the gates of Wonka's factory, enormous crowds of people had gathered to watch the 5 lucky ticket holders going on. The excitement was tremendous. It was just before 10 o'clock. The crowds were pushing and shouting, and policemen with arms linked were trying to hold them back from the gates. Right beside the gates, in a small group that was carefully shielded from the crowds by the police, stood the 5 famous children, together with the grown-ups who had come with them. The tall bony figure of Grandpa Joe could be seen standing quietly among them, and beside him, holding tightly onto his hand, was the little Charlie Bucket himself. Oh, the children except Charlie had borne their mothers and fathers with them, and it was a good thing that they had. Otherwise the whole party might have gone out of hand. They were so eager to get going that their parents were having to hold them back. Forced to prevent them from climbing out the gates. "Be patient," cried the fathers. "Be still, it's not time yet. It's not 10 o'clock. Behind him, Charlie Bucket could hear the shouts of the people in the crowd as they pushed them far to get a glimpse of the famous church. "This better be a great son," one shouted. "That's all right. I can remember her face from the newspaper. And you know that?" "What?" somebody shouted back. "She's still chewing the dreadful old piece of gum she's dead for 3 months. Look at the justice still working on it. Who's the big fat boy?" "That's Augustus Gloop." "So it is. Enormous, isn't it? Fantastic. Who's the kid with the picture of the Lord Ages? So the wind shattered." "That's my TV. It's the television, Fred." "A fan? He must be crazy. Look at all those toy pistols he's got hanging all over him." "The one I want to see is Baruka Soul," shouted another voice in the crowd. "She's the girl whose father bought a pair of million chocolate bars and made the workers in the peanuts factory unwrap every one of them until they fell on the golden he gives her anything she wants, absolutely anything. She only has the thoughts, screaming for it, and she gets it. Rough, isn't it? Shocking, I can't cut it. Which do you think is her?" "The one over there on the left, the little girl in the silver mink-coat. Which one is Charlie Bucket?" "Charlie Bucket? He must be that skinny little shrimp standing beside the old fellow who looks like a skeleton very close to us. Just see him. Why hasn't he got a coat on this cold weather?" "Don't ask me. Maybe he can afford to buy one." "Goodness me, he must be freezing." Charlie, standing only a few paces away from the speaker, gave Grandpa Joe a squeeze, and that old looked down at Charlie and smiled. Somewhere in the distance, a church clock began striking 10, very slowly with the loud creaking of rusty hinges. The great iron gates of the factory began to swing open. The crowd became silent. Suddenly, the children stopped jumping about. All eyes were fixed upon the gates. "There he is!" somebody shouted. "That's him!" And so it was. Chapter 14. Mr. Willy Wonka. Mr. Wonka was standing all alone just inside the open gates of the factory. And what an extraordinary little man he was! He had a black top hat on his head, he wore a tail-coat made of a beautiful plum-colored velvet. His trousers were bottle green. His gloves were pearly grey, and he carried a fine gold tough walking cane. Covering his chin there was a small neat pointing black beard, and his eyes were most marvelously bright. They seemed to be sparkling and twinkling at you all the time. The whole face, in fact, was alight with fun and laughter. And oh, how clever he looked! How quick and sharp and full of life! Making quick, jerky, and little movements with his cooking it this way and that, and taking everything in with those bright, twinkling eyes. He was like a squirrel in the quickness of his movements, like a quick, clever old squirrel from the park. Suddenly, he had a funny little skipping dancing song. He had spread his arms wide, and he smiled at the 5 children who were closer near the gates. He called out, "Welcome, my little friends! Welcome to the factory!" His voice was high and fluty. "Will you come forward at a time, please?" he called out. "And bring your parents and show me your golden ticket and give me your name." "But first," Big Fuzz Boy stepped up. "I'm Augustus Cliff," he said. "Augustus?" cried Mr. Wonka, seizing his hands and pumping it up and down with terrific force. "My dear boy, how good to see you! Delighted, charmed, overjoyed to have you with us. And this all your parents? How nice! Come in! That's right! Step through the gates." Mr. Wonka was clearly just excited as everybody else. "My name," and the chats go forward, "is Baruka Salt. My dear Baruka, how do you do? What a pleasure this is. You do have an interesting name, don't you? I always thought that Baruka was a sort of word that you got on the sole of your foot. But I must be wrong, mustn't I? How pretty you looked in that lovely mink coat. I'm so glad you could come. Dear me, this is going to be such an exciting day. I do hope you enjoy it. I'm sure you will. I know you will. Your father, how are you, Mrs. Salts?" "Mrs. Salts, overjoyed to see you. Yes, the ticket is quite in order. Please go in." Next, 2 children, Barnaby and Great and by TV, came forward to have their tickets saved and to have their arms practically pumped off their shoulders by the energetic Mr. Wonka. At least of all, a small nervous voice whispered, "Charlie Bucket!" "Charlie!" cried Mr. Wonka. Well. So there you are. You are the one who found your tickets. Only yesterday, too. Yes, I read all about it. This is about his papers. Just did die, my dear boy. I'm so glad you're so happy for you. And is your grandfather delighted to meet you, so overjoyed and raptured. The child did love rise, always bear everybody though. 5 children? Yes, good. Now will you please follow me? Our world is going out to cricket. But do keep together, please don't wander off by yourselves. I shouldn't like to lose any of you at this stage of the proceedings. Oh dear me, no! Charlie glanced back over his shoulders and saw the great Sarah Citrus case slowly close behind him. The crowds on the outside was still pushing and shouting. Charlie took a last look at them. Then as the gates closed with a slam, all sight of the outside all disappeared. Here we are, cried Mr. Walcott, running along in front of the group. Through this big red glow, please. That's right, it's nice and warm inside. I have to keep it warm inside the factory because of the workers. My workers are used to an extremely hot climate. They can't cold depth reached if they were outside in this weather, just freeze to death. But who are red workers? Asked Augustus Cliff. Only in good time, my dear boy, said Mr. Walcott, smiling at Augustus. Be patient, you shall everything as you go along. All of us inside. Good, would you mind closing the door? Thank you. Charlie Bucket found himself standing in a long corridor that stretched away in front of him as far as he could see. The corridor was so wide that a car could easily have been traveling along it. The walls were pale pink. The lighting was soft and pleasant. How lovely and warm, whispered Charlie. I know, and what a marvelous smell, answered Grandpa Joe, taking a long, deep sniff. The most wonderful smells in the world seemed to be mixed up in the air around them. The smell of roasted coffee and burnt sugar and melting chocolate and mint and violets and crushed huzzas and the apple blossom and the caramel and the lemon peel. And far away in the distance from the hold of the great factory came a muffled roll of energy, as though some most gigantic machine was spinning itself at its breakneck speed. Notice, my dear children, said Mr. Walcott, I see his voice of the lowest. This is the main corridor. Will you please hang your coats and hats on the pegs over there and then follow me? That's the day. Good, everyone already covered there. Here we go. We trotted off rapidly on the corridor with the tails of the plum-colored velvet coats flapping behind it. After it was quite large party of people. When you came to think of it, there was 9 grown-ups and 5 children for 10 in the air. So you can imagine that there was a good deal of pushing and shoving. They started to be stirred down the passage, tried step up with swift little figure in front of. Then come on, cried Mr. Wonka. Get up, move on, please. We'll never get around today if you don't do like this. Soon he turned right off the main corridor into another slightly narrow passage. The little left, again, the lights, the left, the right, left. The place was like a stick rabbit square, with passages leading this way, that is, every direction. Did you let go of hand, Charlie? I suppose, swear Joe. Notice how all this passage is all sloppy that was, called out Mr. Walker. We are now going up. On the ground, on the most important rooms in my factory, deep down below the surface. What is that? Somebody asked. There wouldn't be nearly enough space for them. It's going to see an enormously larger than football field. No words could be big enough to house them. Down here underneath, and I will go all the space I want. There's no limit so long as I hollow it. Mr. Wonka turned right, turned left, and turned right again. The passage was sloppy, steeple and steeple down here now. Then suddenly Mr. Walker stopped. From the field there was a shiny metal door, partly crowded around. On the door in large letters said chocolate